If you've been watching the channel a while, you probably remember I did a video on Flashpoint and the archiving of old Flash games. In it, I played a lot of Livefire, which is tied for my favorite Flash game of all time. And I say tied and not my outright favorite because there's another Flash game that I wasn't able to cover because it's not even in Flashpoint. That Flash game is Star Wars Clones vs. Droids. It's another game that was made and put on StarWars.com in 2008 to promote the upcoming Clone Wars movie. The game works on a relatively simple concept. There are two teams, clones and droids. You have 30 seconds to move them and aim their weapons. At the end of the round, you move, fire, and take damage. Your goal is to eliminate the other team before you are eliminated. It works either as a single-player game in practice mode or a multiplayer game in Play Live Opponent. Both require the server. Pretty simple, but addictively fun. It's a Flash game after all. You've probably never heard of this. It turns out the game's pretty obscure. I couldn't find a working version anywhere. The Wayback Machine loads it, but the games don't work because it requires server functionality, and the company that made the game, Hyperlaunch New Media Limited, went out of business years ago, so the server the game points to doesn't exist anymore. I have searched years for this game. I've looked everywhere, but it's like it doesn't exist. There's a very vague Wikipedia article and some fan sites with 240p images, but really there's nothing on this game on the internet. It's like it vanished into the ether of history. And I've looked everywhere. I've even been to page 2 of Google search. I've seen some shit. Finally, after years of searching, I came across the dev blog of Chris Underwood of deeperbeige.com and his 2008 post about how he made the game for Hyperlaunch. That's right, I couldn't find the game anywhere on the internet, but I found the guy who fucking made it. I shot him an email and asked if there was some sort of PHP file or workaround to get the game to work without a server. I told him how much I loved the game and asked him to upload it to Flashpoint. He was reluctant at first because of the Disney copyright issue, and he couldn't upload it to Flashpoint because it requires a server, but once he learned that Flashpoint hosts other Star Wars Flash games without issue, he was willing to fix the game and host it on his own website, as well as release the code and instructions so anybody can set up the game on their own server. Seriously, he spells it all out in a README, and it's really simple, so anyone with any knowledge of MySQL can get it set up. I'm working on a website right now. I don't know when or if it will go on the internet, but if it does, I can tell you right now, this game will be on it. This guy is really cool, by the way. He was a big Flash developer back in the day, most notably for his Hannah and Achapa series, which most of you probably recognize. We had a nice conversation, we tested the game, he told me stories of Flash developing, and we share a love of preserving tech history. I'll link to his website and Discord down in the description. I will also link below to the server code so anyone can download it and host it on their own so that the game is archived and lives on forever. Also, I will link to the webpage where he is hosting the game for anyone who wants to play. For the next 5 hours from the point I upload this video, I will be online and in-game so multiplayer matchups will work. I'm also going to make a Discord server for the game that you're all invited to join so we can chat while we play. I'm also going to share some links on Reddit, try to get as many people in the game as possible, and I encourage everyone to join me. It works with Ruffle, by the way, so you don't need to install an old browser and Flash player for it to work. Riley and I have actually played a few multiplayer rounds with Ruffle this way. Anyone interested? Links are below. I'll see you in game.